All right, here we are. I forgot to turn on the light. It should be, well, let me turn this other light on real fast. Forgot to turn it on. Just saying. It probably ain't even change a whole lot. Actually, let me just turn this window too. All right. So we are fucking live.
So
yeah, so here we are. What's up, August Line? What's up? Thanks for tuning in, man. Thanks a lot. Yeah. And I just seen this. I used to watch Richard Cooper years ago. A long time. Probably about when I was living in Chescalipa, about 6 years ago. He had Entrepreneurs in Cars. That's what it was. I liked it. I always liked Richard Cooper stuff. I just quit watching other guys do anything. I don't really watch a lot of this content, like in YouTube, like I used to. I used to watch Donovan Sharp a lot. I really like Donovan Sharp. I wonder what happened to Donovan Sharp. I really like Donovan Sharp. But yeah. That's the Ramsey. I'm looking at the people on the side. That's the Ramsey show highlights. I mean, like I hope the dude makes as much money and all that shit that he can. But like I think it's like I already just share my opinion on listening to anybody over the age of 35 talk about, I won't say anybody, but a decent part of the population over 35, 40, right? Because here, I guess I say all the time, I'm 30, I'll be 38 this year. And I'm humble enough to admit that times have changed. It's not the same as it was when I was 20 out here. With 20, 25-year-olds, even 30-year-olds had to grow up with, in their different time frame of when I came up. The times have changed. It is not. Times have just changed, and I'm humble enough to admit it, right? I say all the time, I'm 38. I think anybody over 35 should be thoroughly evaluated before they're allowed to speak out loud, right? I think anybody over the age of 35, including myself, they need to be thoroughly vetted to make sure, is that the right word to use? They need to be thoroughly, evaluated to make sure that they're aware of what's going on and, what's going on nowadays in life. At least don't be aware, on a decent level. I'm not going to say understand everything, right? Like I don't understand TikTok. I tried TikTok, or not TikTok. What Snapchat? I tried Snapchat a couple times, didn't like it, didn't get it. I understand why people, and that's part of me passing the torch. Like I don't get it. I'm in that age group now where I don't get it. Like I can get Instagram. TikTok is cool, but it's always been controversy behind TikTok. But yeah, I just think anybody over the age of 35, like here's the thing, like I've always said it before. Whenever I go out, or I have to deal with like some type of like intricate thought with like customer service or something like that. Well, the younger people are just young, so they don't even really know what to do, and the older people know what to do, but they're outdated in their knowledge, and so like there's not many people who are like float or who are like pleasantly in between, right? Like because when you go, let's say you go to like, well, in my experiences of where I'm living, like let's say I go to like buy anything, right? Whatever it is, whether it's the self checkout in a grocery store or let's say an electronics store or something like that, right? It's generally gonna be the same thing. The younger kid, okay, generally the younger kid has a bit more awareness in life, but they really don't like they're always kind of like slower and like figuring out like if something gets a little more intricate. But the good part about the younger kids like 2025 is they're not afraid to go ask for help, right? And that's where that's probably where I that I'm not gonna say probably, that is where I almost prefer 25-year-olds now, is because the younger generation is not afraid to ask for help, right? Because they're not living, they don't have any ego to live up to because they're 20, they're 20 to 25, right? So they'll be like, oh yeah, hang on, let me just call my manager real fast, and boom, it's done, right? Now the hard part is when you start dealing with like the older populations. Most of the time you're not really fighting with their intelligence, you're fighting with their egos. Like, so like the older person, you deal with an older person, they don't want to have to say, oops, let me go ask my manager. They want to feel like they know what the fuck they're doing, right? Like they don't want to, like that, because they got this ego to live up to of being older and experienced and showing off in front of the 20-year-olds, right? So they don't want to let go. And I think initially older people would kind of like disagree with me until I were to explain it like that. And I think I could kind of like sway the older population, like accept it, like, yeah, it's that ego shit. Like it's the ego part. I was just telling my dad about dealing with international problems, right? With me being me living internationally, and with these international laws and rules, or dealing with any type of government, anything like that. What became very clear to me early on was nobody really knows international laws very well. Like, you come across some who will break down and just go study a law book, but those are far and few in between. I've met a few people like that, but for the most part, like when you talk about international situations, most people don't know. And the sad part is there's entire international departments full of people with college degrees who don't know shit, right? So in my path of life, when you grow older and you start to think back on stories, and it's like, oh wow, like that makes sense why something happened 10 years ago, something like that, right? So in my path of life, I was telling my dad this 2 days ago, yesterday or 2 days ago. I said, now, like, I really understand how like a drug dealer had finally got busted because they were trying to send a successful drug dealer, not like some little dude selling $10 dime bags on the street, but like a successful drug dealer, right? Like this motherfucker can buy a car when he wants to, a good car when he wants to, type of drug dealer, right? Them type of dudes and up, those are successful drug dealers, right? Like, it became clear like how successful drug dealers would get busted because they tried to like fly like a rare pelican from fucking Bermuda, into Oklahoma for their daughter's birthday party type of shit. And now I could look back and say that drug dealer might have thought that he did everything legal. But the international laws, the people actually working internationally don't know what the fuck they doing. So anything can happen in that, right? And I remember I was telling my dad, I said, like, look, like, statistically speaking, right? Statistically speaking, there's not many people who are even equipped to even think like that, because statistically speaking, historically, the vast majority of a population doesn't consistently travel like that, to be in that frame of thought of mind of how to approach a problem, right? I mean, you'll get, a random guy or a random girl be like, well, I spent 2 months in France when I was 21, so I know about international problems. You always come across like these types of people, right? Like, that type of shit. I remember I had one guy, like, I had my dad laughing about this. I had one guy, he goes, I didn't tell him anything. And I'm not trying to say I'm like a super veteran in this shit, but I've made, a decent path, I would say. And I was talking to this guy, and he goes, well, I lived abroad for a year, so I think I know what I'm talking about, right? Like, yeah, right. I mean, like, dude, like, literally, I lived illegally in a village that didn't even speak English for literally twice as long as, most of these guys' vacations were. My son is twice as old as these guys' vacations are. Like, right? You see what I'm saying? So it's like it's the context with, like, when you hear women speak on the internet or on social media, or you hear, these guys like remember the Goob, when you hear these guys like Goob YouTube talk, see, it's these people who never really actually lived life, or they lived life and they're bitter because they weren't successful in the life that they chose, and now they're just like talking shit. And I think that's a bad part about social media, and this is what the younger kids, like the younger generation, has to deal with. The younger generation won't know how to tell the difference because people got so good at lying and bullshitting just to get you to click on a YouTube video, right? That the younger generation won't have that same sense of awareness that I think like people from my generation will have, right? And know how to read between the lines on things, right? Right. And yeah, yeah. When it comes to these international issues, man, like I don't think many people, I don't think that, statistically speaking, at least 95% of everybody in any international office is not mentally equipped for that role. Period. Fucking period. Full stop. They're just not equipped for that. They're not equipped for it at all. What's up, Mo? Yo, AD, making some pancakes. I messaged you earlier. Oh yeah, I did see. I was laying. I was talking to him. We were laying in bed. We was talking. I seen it though. You sent me a link, but I was in bed talking with Esmeralda. She's in another room now. But I did see it though. I just didn't have a chance to look at it. If you want me to read it off, I can read it off. Hang on, let me grab my phone. See, I think my future is gonna be Asia. That was the last. What's that? Are you in? Is that German? Yeah, that's a German area code, ain't it? I don't know if you want me to read. I'm not gonna read off all the messages because I just out of respect, because I don't know if you want me to. I haven't even read them thoroughly yet. Oh wow, yeah, okay, this is kind of long. I can't read all this, but yeah. Oh wait, you said I want to. Okay, so yeah, so I guess I can't read this part because you said specifically, this is for your next live. Second pick is from. Oh shit! I'm not going because I only got about an hour. I can't get. I doubt because I talk too goddamn. It's my fault. I talk too fucking much, so I'm not going to be able to get to this in the live stream. I apologize, man, because I got to do this. I was going to do this video that's up now, but I do see. I got your message. I'm, life. I'm just like fucking like swamped. Your viewers would like to hear what you think about it. I'd see. I'll do that. I might live stream. I was gonna live stream tomorrow because I'm pretty tired now. I was gonna say fucking and do it tomorrow, but I'll probably just live stream tomorrow night for 1 hour or two, and then go over everything that you sent me today. Like literally, probably about an hour ago, you sent that. It looks like we're in the same area code. If not, you're like probably like an hour behind me, I think. But based off the number in WhatsApp, looks like you're you're probably in the same time zone. But yeah. Bro, you do not know what happened to Donovan. What happened to Donovan Short? August Lion. So you don't know. You don't want to know what happened to Donovan Short. Jesus, I don't even. I can't even imagine. I can't even imagine. I know he's a big black dude with a felony. So like whatever happened, I hope it was something good. Because being a big black dude with a felony on ERF on Earth, that's not a great start. All right. Hey, it hurts to say it, but it's the CHRUF. It's the truth. Being big and black with a felony, that's not the best start you could have in life. Right? So whatever it was, I hope it was something good. I hope it wasn't something bad. But yeah, let's start this video.
So based on my perspective, a man needs to be self-aware, and he could have all the money in the world, and you see the wealthiest women with very rich men who are very unhappy. It's a combination of a lot of things. See, I'm driven. I want a man to be equally driven. You don't have to do what I do. You just have to have a purpose, right? Like, this is what I want to achieve. I want to grow. I want to be something. Respect. Respect for who I am in terms of my time, in terms of checking in and asking, hey, how are you? And I think that lacks a great deal. Like, let me just give you an example. Like after I got my divorce, I dated. Mm-hmm. But if I was to compare the breed of men after my ex-husband, I would go back to my ex-husband any day, and he was bad. So that explains that was an actual relationship, although it was toxic.
So the grass wasn't greener on the other side? Is that what you're saying?
I'm sorry?
So the grass wasn't greener on the other side?
No. Had I not gotten a divorce, I wouldn't have known how bad it was. Okay. I wouldn't have known what ghosting was. I wouldn't have known how disconnected men are, how detached they are.
Detached from what?
Why you gotta be detached? If we go on a date and you don't feel it, why can't you just tell me? Mm-hmm. Like, I would appreciate that more than me feeling like I don't want to be clingy. I don't want to feel like I'm desperate, which I'm not. But I want some. If I connected with you and I feel like there could be something here, why can't you just reach out and be like, this isn't going to work out?
Well, I mean, doesn't the absence of any emotion or absence of any statement indicate that there was no connection? Like, do you have to reach out and say, hey, by the way, there's no connection?
Yeah. It doesn't take a lot to send out a text and be like, I really didn't feel it.
See, like, I'm laughing. Well, it is funny. I'm not going to say it's not funny because it completely is funny. But this is why, okay, because I always used to say, see, all these problems that she's going through, it's going to be the same exact problems that she was putting men through when she was 20 and 22 years old. See, when she was 20, guys were hoping to at least hear something back from her to say it's not going to work. She was the one hoping that guys would pick up on the fact that she didn't write back or text back. See, she was in that position, but all of that, as you age as a man, all of these little games and things, I would say this. I would say it has the high potential to flip. Because like I gave that diagram of like men and women and it crosses, but like a lot of men, a lot of men and a lot of women mentally they stay stuck. Let me draw it. Let me draw it out again real fast. Oh wait. Okay. But you guys can see. I'm getting ready to write it. I'm getting ready to show you guys men, and then I would say roughly like this is not an exact measurement, but just bear with me on this. Right? Yeah. So right here. So like right around 30, that's like the cross. So at the top is women, and at the bottom is men. And this is, you know, value, what they can get away with, like excuses, right? Value, excuses, etc. Right? Women are at the top, you know, and this is, you know, this is roughly 18 years of age. Right? This is, you know, the value, but primarily it's going to be really the value is what dictates the excuses that they can make or if they should make, and etc. Like what they everything they can get away with and still be classified as like, you know, as successful in their gender, right? And it starts off with women at the top and men. And okay, woman at 18, she's at the top. She's at the height of her game. Really, I would say about 20 to 22. But let's just make it simple for simplicity's sake. At 18, men are at the bottom, women are at the top. A woman is the party, right? A party is not a party unless you have women there, right? Especially in the younger years, right? Women are the reason why clubs are open. Women are the reason why bars are open, right? Women are the reason why malls are open, why restaurants are open, because women are there, right? Like in Training Day, I'm thinking about Training Day when he goes, you almost became the ditch party. He was talking to the little girl. She was like 15 as she was going to. But anyway, that's a side topic. But anyway, so the thing is, like right around 30 is where, in reality, it really does. It flips, right? But the fucked up part is a lot of men, they'll be programmed so deeply from this 18 years of age that they'll stay right here and keep going here throughout the rest of their life, right? And the same thing happens to women. A lot of women they get stuck about right here, and and mentally they'll stay thinking that they're up here for the rest of their life, right? But in reality, this is actually what happens, right? This is the reality of what actually happens, right? So I'm not gonna say it in everybody's perceivable reality, they may not see this part, right? Mentally, they may only see this part, right? Right. But going back to this woman in the bottom, Jasmine. Going back to Jasmine. See, when Jasmine was here, right? See, she was the one saying, oh, like, I really don't want to have to text him back. Maybe he should just get it that I don't write him back. You know, he should just pick up on my emotions when I was with him. He should have picked up on my mood, how I didn't want to, like, you know, sit super close. He should have just figured it out. Right? Right? And the guy sitting up saying, well, how come I didn't hear anything back? Well, blah, blah, blah. You know, how come you couldn't send a text message saying it didn't work out, whatever. See, the guy was doing that when Jasmine was right here. When she was essentially up in this area, right? See, now Jasmine has fallen down down to here, right? And now she is now the equivalent of man being down here. I hope this makes sense because I feel like it's just a bunch of scribble. But she's the equivalent of that. See, now she's sitting around wondering, well, how come I never heard a call back? What, you couldn't send a text message? What? I just want to be nice and kind now. I just want kindness. I just want see now she wants all this kindness and human decency and all this because she's on the losing side of things now, right? And again, don't be mad at her. It's just how women are. It's how women and men develop. The only real difference is that no matter what a woman does, she always has somebody desperate enough to deal with her bullshit. Whereas men can come off a bit more awkward, where that's not always the case.
I really don't see a future with you.
What's after one date?
After one date.
Okay.
After one date, but they'll lead you on. Like, they'll view your stories on Instagram. Mm-hmm. They'll make you think that they're into you.
Now that's a weird thing for me. And like I said, because I didn't grow up with Instagram, and she's older than me. I can tell she's older than me. But like, why do people care if somebody viewed their story on Insta? Like, that comes off as stalking shit to me. Like, and if somebody in here does it, like, it just, hey, yo, that's just my opinion. Like, I am not looking to see who liked something or who viewed something. I don't care. It's not. It's social media. Social media, in my opinion, is like it. I just think social media is horrible. I won't say it's horrible. I think social media is something that I think it should be almost illegal, honestly, because I don't think many people can handle that shit. Like seriously handle it. You know what I mean? Like, you got to the point where you looking at somebody's looked at you and all this shit. Like, okay, yeah, no, that's too. It's not real. It's internet. I mean, it's real, but it's not real. People post a bunch of fake shit all the time.
They'll heart your pictures or whatever, but they're never going to ask you out. Like, I went out with...
but that's the ultimate test, though, isn't it? Like, if they don't ask you out, then they obviously don't have the interest, right?
They're not, yeah.
Let me put it this way. I went on a date with a doctor.
You're just creeping your Instagram stories at this point.
They're basically creeping the Instagram stories, but to us in this generation, that sends out a message. It's a mixed signal of like,
there's also hundreds or probably thousands of other guys checking out your Instagram stories, right?
But I went out with him yesterday.
Okay.
So that's kind of the point I'm trying to bring. So if you're not interested, then just tell me.
Tell me the story of the doctor.
We connected. He asked me a lot of questions in terms of what you would ask a woman if you wanted to spend the rest of your life with them. Like, how many kids do you want? How would you raise them? Just things like that. What we were looking for in the future. Things seemed really good. And then he just never reached out to me, but he's still viewing my stuff. I reached out to him about a month later saying like, hey, we should just go grab dinner when you're free. And in the meantime, you're still viewing my stuff. What did I do? I just blocked him. Because you're sending a mixed signal to the woman of like, if you don't want us, don't make us think that you
look.
Do.
So, okay, look. No, this woman is crazy. All right, I think it's a great storm outside. It's got real windy. But so I might lose, knowing how the internet is, I might lose internet because it's getting real windy outside, and shit over here ain't like it is, I mean, in other places on Earth. But let's say, okay, when it comes to social media and this whole like, who looked at, you know how many times I've accidentally like hit some shit on Instagram and like watched some shit, that I didn't intend on watching? Or I've accidentally liked something because I was trying to move it and it just like left a heart and I don't even know how to take the heart off. You know how many times I've done that? You mean that man was probably just going through reels and your shit just came up on accident. He was moving through it. You know what I mean? It wasn't like okay. Like I would love to ask Jasmine, did she really think that this man would sit down and be like, yeah, I'm gonna watch her stories and not say anything back? Oh, she's gonna see that tomorrow. Like, no, motherfucker. I'm not, no. I don't, know. That man probably just was going through his phone and the shit probably came up while he was going through some other shit. And she thinking, oh, yeah, he was stalking me because I'm important. No. No. You know how many times I've done that shit? See, like I said, the roles flip. See, when she was 18, or when she was 23, and a guy was 23, 25, see, the 25-year-old guy was looking for any whisper of attention from her, right? It was off. See, the guys are sitting up going, oh my God, I hope she seen my story. I hope she liked my picture. See, the guys are doing that to the younger bitches, right? What does this mean? I think she liked the picture, and then she texted me back exactly 2.5 hours later. But then when I called, she didn't answer the phone. See, guys do that shit in the beginning, right? But like I said earlier, all that flips. See, she done got older. Now she's the one doing it. Did you see my story? It said you seen my story yesterday at 2:34 p.m. And I was just wondering why you didn't call me back. And what the fuck? No. It's fucking stupid. Now, if a motherfucker was like writing, if a motherfucker was like, okay, if a motherfucker was like commenting on her shit or something, I can understand that, right? If a motherfucker was like commenting on her shit, and like if he was saying, oh, like you're beautiful or something like under her picture, and then wasn't writing her or calling her, then I can see, yeah, like now the motherfucker's clearly playing games type of shit, right? If the motherfucker was actually commenting, writing a thought out kind of thing, then I can understand it. I could see that more reality. Platypus Dreams, he was probably passing time all in the toilet. Yeah. He was probably taking a shit and fucked around and, you know what I mean, and hit one of these. Ooh, and, you know what I mean? And clicked her shit on accident. Nobody, because a motherfucker looked at your damn, you a grown ass woman talking about somebody looked at my story. Look. A grown ass woman. Well, I've talked to a doctor, and I'm successful. After my divorce, I didn't know how bad it was. Could you imagine being so fucking desperate to the point where you looking into a motherfucker who Instagram reported that they looked at your fucking picture on the goddamn internet? Like, this is ridiculous, dude. It's fucking stupid. It's high school shit. This is high school shit. Could you imagine being that fucking desperate? Like, I'm so successful, I'm dating a doctor, and blah, blah, blah. Look, come on. Like, really think about that. Really think about how desperate and pathetic this is. Men, stop looking at it as okay, I get, like, women they always have choice and options, but don't put them any higher up on any kind of pedestal. Especially with shit like this. This is child shit. This is kid shit. Sitting up. Well, he looked at my picture. Get your grown ass up. If she belonged with a dude of his caliber, then she should be able to go out there and find another dude of his caliber. The reason why she's so caught up over him is because she knows she's not worth him. That's why well, did you look at my picture? See, she ain't doing that over some dude who work at McDonald's. She ain't doing that over a coworker of hers. Who is she gonna do that for? She doing that for LeBron James. You know what I mean? She's doing that for doctors and sports stars. That's who she's looking. Well, did they like I seen you like my picture 2 months ago? Yeah, see, the reason why she's doing it because she knows she's not worth that, right? It'd be okay. So to put it into another scenario, right? Let's say you apply for two jobs, right? You apply for one job that's within your work range. Let's say your work history says that you're just for simplicity's sake. Let's say your work history says you should work at McDonald's, right? You're a great fucking burger flipper, right? Right? Let's say you're a burger flipper and you're fucking great at your job, right? And everything about your work history say you should be a burger flipper, right? But for some reason you apply for two separate jobs. You apply for burger flipper, and you apply for software developer at Microsoft, right? Now we all know Microsoft is gonna pay you more and have better benefits and all that, right? So the second Microsoft sends you a whisper that they're gonna show you some attention, you're gonna drop everything you doing for that. Why? Because you know you really ain't worth that job, and you know you can't get another job like that, right? Because you know in this context you would never. It's gonna be a very low chance that you're gonna go out there and find a job that's gonna pay you like that and give you that many benefits at that job that's out of your range. It's out of your league, right? It is what it is, right? Now McDonald's, yeah, McDonald's is cool. Don't get me. I'm not trying to bash McDonald's, but you know that Microsoft is better than you, right? So if Microsoft sends you any whisper of attention, you're gonna be like, oh, what, did they like my picture? What happened? What happened? You gonna read every fucking word into anything that they ever say after that? Yeah, that's what it is. That's the position Jasmine's in. Because if Jasmine knew she can go out there and get a man of that caliber, she wouldn't be that caught up over him. She would move on to another one. But she knows that she's not worth it. She knows that he's out of her league.
So that we can move on.
So because viewing social media stories indicates to women that we want you.
Yeah. If we're...
Caroline's shaking her head the other way. What does that mean?
That's what I think.
And so is Casey.
Listen, social media is evil in so many ways, and people, it is a sign. If you throw up a bikini post, the people that heard it want to sleep with you. If the boys, like that is not like, that's not like rocket science.
Okay.
I'm not thinking that every guy that looks at my story or likes my story wants to take me out on a date. The guy who takes initiative and asks me out on a date clearly wants to take me on a date, but she's very right about the ghosting thing. Guys do that a lot. It doesn't take much of simple consideration to be like, hey, I'm not into it. Basically, they're being
is
wuss.
It guys that only ghost?
Why is it such a big deal?
To ghost people?
Yeah, like why is it? And
why is it such a huge deal? Like, why do you need this closure from this guy who you're never going to see again? Like, I don't understand.
It's out of respect for the other person.
No, look, it's only out of respect for the other person if the guy is better than her. That's all it is. It's only the woman only looks for closure out of respect if she figures the guy's better than her, one, and two, if she figures the guy's life is really better off without her in it. That's what keeps any woman on earth interested in any man. Flat out, 100%, full stop, period. Those are the two factors, right? The two factors. One, the guy's better than her. And two, she knows that his life would really be better off without her in it. That's what keeps women with men. Because if both of those two factors aren't there, then she ain't really get, he's just a regular, See, women who were always treated like princesses and queens by men, see, they don't care about closure. The woman will close it. right? And if the man's lucky, she'll do something out of respect for him if he's lucky, right? The only reason she's this caught up about it is because he's better than her and she knows his life would be better off without her in it. In other words, she was in a position where she feels like where she's having fun doing the chasing.
Okay, but women don't offer that to men either, though, right? Like it's it's a card out of the playbook that women play where they just ghost guys if they're not interested.
I let them know.
Do that.
Jasmine, how many unread DMs do all the ladies on this panel have right now on Instagram?
Exactly.
Let's talk about respect, about guys that are
you right now.
Up. Have you ever received an unsolicited DM from a guy that was trying to shoot a shot?
We as women, if we see a message coming through and it sounds very creepy, I won't even open the message.
That's not what I'm at, but what I'm saying.
That's
but if
not
it's
what
about
you
respect and acknowledging another person who's showing interest in you, why wouldn't you respond back and give them that respect back?
No, if there's a stranger, that's not what we're talking about. We're saying if you go on a date with someone, if you start chatting it up with someone and you're flirting with someone and then you go on a date with someone and they're not feeling it, or 1 date, 2 dates, 3 dates, and they're just like, oh, I'm not feeling it, the chemistry isn't there, you should absolutely, as a considerate human being and a man, be like, hey, I'm sorry, I'm just not feeling it and I really wish you the best. It's truly not that.
Is it nice? Yeah.
No. The question they should ask is, did you do that when you were 25 to men who were like this over you? That's the question that needs to be asked.
Sure, it's nice out of respect. Just, hey, not feeling it. Okay, yeah, that's nice. But am I gonna go cry in the corner if he doesn't say no, I barely know you. So I don't treat it as like, oh, like, why aren't guys like saying this? Because like, do I do it every time? Do I say no? There's not a connection every time? No, I don't. If I truly didn't like hated the guy on a date, no, I'm probably just gonna let it die out. So I mean, yes, it is.
I think it's.
Too,
I mean, you ladies can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that women they want to hear from the guys that they're already attracted to. They don't want to hear from the guys that they're not attracted to. If you go out on a date or you connect with somebody and you want to see them again, you're obviously attracted to them. You want to hear from them. If you don't hear from them, you want to get closure as to why you didn't hear from them. Is that correct?
Like, why did you make me think you were into me when you were not? Because
maybe
the
date didn't go as well as you thought.
You showed up, you were taller than I thought you were shorter than I thought you were heavier than I thought you were older than I thought you were
whatever I thought you would.
You talk too much, you talk too little.
Yeah.
Let me give you my feedback, which I believe the rest of the ladies would agree with me. They make you think they're into you. So you believe it. You see the good in them. But they're really not. They just couldn't get out of you what they wanted. So they're going to ghost you. But as women,
what did they want?
Yeah, what did they want out?
Some men will, they're really, really good actors. Most men.
But what did they want out of her?
They will put up a very good act just to sleep with you.
Okay,
correct.
And if
let me back up. Hold on. Let me
are they ghosting you after you slept together?
I will. Yeah, well, that's different.
So that's why we as women on a date, we get like, we start to like the person because of this act they put on. But they have a different agenda.
Remember a while back, I was saying how when people start talking like this is a clear sign that they're a fucking idiot. Yeah, like I went to the store and then maybe sometimes I could get the Skittles. Bitch, what's this have to do with the PlayStation? Like, well, and sometimes I'll go to and then I went over there and I bumped my knee, and then sometimes when you bump your knee, you just be like, what happened? And then I go to the mall, and then when I went to the mall, I thought about my great aunt. And my great aunt had this puppy dog. And like that has nothing to do with what the fuck the motherfucker asked you. It's this whole like, this is what dumb motherfuckers do. Like they do okay. Like I get sometimes trying to explain a context, but there's a difference between trying to explain a context of a situation versus ask a direct question. What the fuck did this man want out of you? All right. And and I'm gonna tell you exactly why she's gonna dance around that question as hard as she can for as long in hopes that nobody knows it, because there's no good answer out of that from her as a woman in the dating world, right? Because the number one thing is, okay, what did a man want out of you? He wanted sex, right? So okay, so he wanted sex out of you, then he left, right? So that must mean that she's not good at sex, right? For whatever reason, she's not good at sex, and so that's why the man left. So the man left her because he didn't want to have sex with her, right? That's one path she can go. Now the other path she can go is, oh well, we didn't even have sex. So now it's, oh well, now you must have had a shit personality, blah blah blah. So there's no way out of that answer that makes her sound good or look good. So she's gonna do this, oh well, yeah, I went and jumped on a trampoline, and sometimes you eat Jello when you jump on a trampoline, but trampolines are actually eco-friendly, and eco-friendly is nice to the economy, and the economy works in trampolines, and trampolines make Jello. They make Jello, right? Why? And one of them are going to, I hope one of them actually slow her down and force her to say why the guy ghosted her.
I've mostly only dealt with ghosting at the end of my like serious relationships, which is a whole nother level of disrespect. So I'm not even talking about ghosting after a few dates. I'm talking about ghosting when a man can't handle the emotional load that comes with the end of a relationship and they just stop talking to you. Okay. That is
Let's go to the end of the relationship of an actual relationship. We're talking about dating right now. So are they ghosting you after you sleep with them?
Sorry, I want Moff to get. He really wants to say something.
Again. She's like, see, Jasmine. Okay, see, these are the words. This is what women do. No matter where you go on earth, all women do this. See, that whole rant, relatively about trampolines and Jello. See, she was hoping that somewhere in that rant, Caroline would do exactly what Caroline did, and Casey would chime in, and it would veer off into a whole nother conversation to get them off of Jasmine's shitty pussy or shitty personality. And I hate to put it that bluntly, but that's just what it is. Okay, that's what it is. These are the manipulation tactics that women use. All women will do. Once she gets backed into a corner, she's going to do it. I'm dealing with it with my VA counselor right now. Right? Dealing with the same shit. And now mark my words, because I haven't seen this. If they do finally hone back in on Jasmine, the next line of defense that I would bet that she's gonna have is, well, you got a big nose. Something that's just so stupid and petty just to get somebody riled up to forget her shitty pussy and personality. Right. How much you want to bet? Well, there's other ways, but I would predict that way.
Go ahead, Jasmine.
Yeah.
I don't sleep with them.
Okay.
So I get ghosted automatically.
Okay, so they're looking to sleep with you. Yeah. They don't get what they want, so they ghost you.
They talk about kids. They talk about like the future. Okay. So they make you believe that there is a future, but there is no future, which is like, if you just want to have fun, that's great, but let me know that.
Yeah. I think that's why. So you can reject him, right?
Yeah. Because
that's why guys don't do it. That's the whole point.
That's manipulative.
No, it isn't. How about this? How about wearing makeup? Is that manipulative?
Is that okay? So
is
wearing
heels manipulative? Does that manipulate your height? Is wearing a bra manipulative? Does that manipulate your breast size?
I'm sorry?
Men fall in love with what they see, and women fall in love with what they hear. That's why women wear makeup and men lie. If we're just honest about it, that's the way that it is. Now, I'm going to tell you, ladies here, and I want everybody to hear this, and you may not like this, you might not believe it, but this is absolutely true. A guy does not know, and this is biological, this isn't a conscious thing. A guy doesn't know if he actually likes you until after he slept with you. Because everything leading up to that moment is him trying to sleep with you. But only after you guys have slept together does the other part, all of this other stuff about your nurturing aspect and your caring and this emotional intelligence and all that, only until after the sex has happened does a guy care about that at all. up until then,
I completely agree with that though, because chemistry is one of the most important things in a relationship. So I completely agree with you.
Sure. So,
Look,
but I don't understand what
add-
this. It's like a leading on. It's not an act. It's actually true. He's being driven by his biological male impulse, which is to spread seed. So it's not an act. It's not fake. A lot of guys don't know this, but in that moment, this guy he probably thinks he's being honest and he's being truthful, because what's driving these mechanisms are his instinct to sleep with you. It's not his instinct to be, playing house with you. It's his instincts to sleep with you. So up until that point, he doesn't have any idea if he likes you or not. It's up to you after the fact to make that guy like you.
Look, just speaking for myself, I can't speak for all women, just speaking for myself, I will develop feelings for a man if I sleep with them. So I'm very, very cautious to do so. I personally will get emotionally connected to a man, where if I sleep with someone and I start to really like him and he does not, that's going to affect me. So it's almost like a defense mechanism in a way of like, I got to get to know you. Like, I got to get to know who you are at least for a month.
But the problem with that is, go ahead, Case.
It's fine to vocalize that. Like, if he's like making efforts and it's just like, and you say, oh, I'm not ready, I'm not there yet, that's fine. That's your choice. And if he doesn't want to continue seeing you unless you put out on the first date or second date or whatever is before you're too comfortable, then okay, it doesn't work out. Like, that's
the rub. That's the issue. Because a man with options is not going to wait a month. And whether you like it or not, when you sleep with a guy and you develop feelings, it is not like, I understand, because women lose their power, right? Women have power if they haven't slept with a guy yet. Women control access to sex. Men control access to relationships. So it's up to you to now keep that guy around. The burden becomes on you, because a man has now gotten what he wants from you. Mm-hmm. If a man has slept with you, then there's really the only way you keep him around is if all of the other value that you add and that you bring stick around. A lot of guys will sleep with them, but they're annoying and they don't add value and they're not nurturing and they just are a pain in the ass. And a lot of guys will leave. Like, what I've been listening to for the last hour now is a lot of men are not self-aware, men are not they're socially inept, they don't have high emotional intelligence, but not once have I heard any sort of willingness to look in the mirror and say, maybe I'm the problem. Maybe it's with me, or maybe I have a hand in the reason that I can't get a guy to stick around.
I really hope you guys enjoyed that clip.
Yeah. And that was just a clip. So who knows? Maybe they did actually finally like directly hone back in on her, but she's done, man.
What is the woman's work?
Like, she's fucking okay. Like I said, by the time a woman cannot keep a man for so long that she has to end up on YouTube talking about it, that's rough. That's rough. And I wanted to go back on the topic of, he said, a man who has options is not going to wait a month. A man who has options is just not even going to wait. He's not even going to communicate with a woman that long, right? Because, okay, and here's the thing. It's not real. Like, and when he says options, I want to make very clear, a man who has options does not mean that he has just, 10 other women on speed dial. A man who has other options does not mean other options of female validation. Other options means other things in his life that he's genuinely happy to go do. And he's not super worried about like Jasmine, right? Because he goes and plays, piano in concerts every Thursday and, Friday in the second week of the month, right? And that's what he does, whatever the fuck he does, right? That's what it means by he has options. It's not necessarily, he has 10 women on speed dial, that type of thing, right? And and I think that's where a lot of guys and girls can immediately jump to that conclusion. Because there was times where I've totally just like blocked or ghosted women, and I didn't even have anybody lined up at all. Didn't have anybody lined up. right? But again, I come from a different time in dating. I come from a different time before this whole online dating was normalized and all this shit. So it was a different time back then. But there were times I definitely did that, man. I definitely did that. Didn't even have another woman lined up that was openly texting me or calling me or anything. Just, yeah. She was about to fake cry. Yeah. No, she's sad. Because that's a hard fall, man. It's a hard fall for women when they finally get hit with that shit for real. That's a hard fall. And I do feel sorry. On an overall, from the perspective of me living on like another planet and looking at men and women, I feel sorry for women because that's a hard fall for them. It's a hard fall to end up like Jasmine's, right? To end up calling in to the Kendra show. That's a sad, pathetic fall, right? But again, like I said, it was last night with the casino analogy, right? Like she's walking around on Earth always expecting to keep going up and up and up and up. When the only reason she was ever able to look up in the first place was because she was an 18-year-old girl. But she became trained on that perspective for a decade. So that's all she knows. So by the time she starts ending up like Jasmine, she can't go date a regular old dude anymore and be unless the dude has some random swagger or something like that. She can't go out and be happy with like a just a normal guy. Right? And coincidentally, that's when oppression starts to come out, feminism, oppression, and all this. Yeah, that's oppression to women because of her perspective. Every woman on earth is essentially born as the rich kid. They're born as a rich kid. And then by like roughly 40, they lose all the family money, right? To that person, that's horrible for them. A kid who grew up in a rich family, and then at 40 they just lost all their money or most of their money. Like they don't know what to do. It's sad. It's they screaming all types of curses and damnations at the world because of it. Same thing with women.
Worth based on, basically. I'm curious, like what do you see your worth as? Because when I see guys and a guy that's worthwhile, they're generally a success object. They've had some impact in the world. They've done something. So I'm curious about what a woman's worth is based on.
Well, I want to what you just said, that we think that a man's worth is based on like his job or his success or the money he makes. That is like that's the last thing I look at.
Okay, what's the first thing you look at?
Their emotional maturity. And those are separate. Of course I want a mature man, but I also want an emotionally mature man. What
does that mean?
So I'm turning you guys up a little bit.
Okay, first off, don't listen to a fucking word she says. A woman telling you what she wants is the same thing it would be the same thing as you going to a haunted house trying to tell the haunted house exactly how to scare you. Right? At best, it'd be all right? Because you're not going to genuinely be scared, right? A woman telling you exactly what she thinks, what the fuck she wants and women wants is the same thing as telling somebody how to scare you. It would be this, or in another scenario, it would be like David Copperfield trying to tell somebody to do one of his tricks and amaze him with it. He already knows the trick, so he's not going to be shocked. It's not a magic trick for him anymore. Women love magic tricks. They love that emotional roller coaster, self-doubt, selfless thought for the cause of gambling. Like women love magic tricks, right? But a magic trick only works if she don't know how the fuck it was done. That's the only way magic tricks work. Right? So she's sitting up here trying to tell you she don't know what the fuck she wants. She think every woman, everybody thinks they know what a cool magic trick would be until they go out there and, you know what I mean, and actually do it for themselves. I'm like, oh, that ain't shit. I'm not impressed. The elephant was always there. I just put a mirror in front of it. Like this, I mean. So just don't listen. Okay, listen to what she says to how in my opinion, listen to what she says, not from taking notes on actually figuring out a woman, but listen to what she says from the perspective of realizing the audacity that she has in over assuming her awareness on what she actually finds attractive.
So again, that would be someone who has control of their emotions and it does not have outbursts of anger and is able to have a calm conversation with a woman. I disagree about this, but we're not going at each other's throats. We're having a mature conversation because we're both emotionally mature people who can handle this conversation.
And to communicate your emotions. I mean, very expected for men not to have to communicate or vocalize what they're feeling. Like it's not the expectation typically as women are talking about their feelings, but an emotionally mature man can meet the woman halfway and they can have that mature conversation about their feelings without there being some guarded gatekeeping or holding back those vulnerabilities. Like opening up those vulnerabilities is what you need to take a next step into a relationship, I feel.
Mm-hmm.
Vulnerabilities, that's an interesting word. So what kind of vulnerabilities are you expecting the guys to open up about?
That's just depending on the guy. It really just depends. Like speaking about like people who don't have self-worth, like I see that as like people's insecurities, whether it be like physical or mental insecurities, and those are your vulnerabilities. Those are the things that you don't want to share with people. Like even some of the things that Caroline was bringing up today, or Jasmine's relationship, her marriage before, like those are vulnerable things that have happened to you in your life. And sometimes they can have effect on your mental, and like being able to open up and like share those things with a partner. So they can better understand you and like the progress that you have made. And this is how you're kind of treat yourself going forward. And, can you meet each other on that emotional level?
So you would want to see men become more vulnerable
in a conversation, emotionally.
In a conversation versus.
He already know it's bullshit. He knows it's bullshit. He knows it's bullshit. He knows everything she just said was literally dog shit that fell out on a plate in front of her. Richard Cooper knows everything that woman just said was 1000% dog shit. All right. Again, do not, when you hear women say what they want, you can listen to them, but pay attention to how you listen to them. Do not listen to a woman and she be like, yeah, I want to communicate and I want to be on the same page and I want to be vulnerable and all that. And then what's going to happen? You going to go out there and do it with that exact woman. She going to be like, I don't like you, right? That's how it works. She don't know what the fuck she wants, right? She doesn't. Women, they don't know what the fuck they want, right? They don't know. And here's the thing, like it's really, in my opinion, like it's really sad, like to think too hard about it, because I be thinking about this shit on my own, like when I just be off, by myself. And this is another reason why I do kind of feel sorry for a lot of women, is because because they they really are like a half step above a dog. Like I always say this shit, man. It's like they cannot fight their emotions. It's like they're like animals. Like an animal cannot fight its emotion as an animal, right? And women are they're like a half step up from that shit, dude. Like they can't. It's like watching ants build a fucking anthill. Like they can't not do it. Like they just keep doing it. Even if you go over there and just step on 50 of his homies, like he's still gonna go do the same shit, right? Like that's how when you just watch when you just watch a woman just try to listen to something, like I feel like I'm looking at an animal, right? I feel like I'm looking at like a fucking like grizzly bear or something. Like this motherfucker, like the grizzly bear doesn't know it's a grizzly bear. He just be walking around, just be like, yeah, I'm me. Like, like you mean like a German Shepherd doesn't know it's a German Shepherd, right? Woman doesn't know it's a woman. See, men, we know we're a man, right? Men know we're men. We have that sense of like, I'm not gonna say we're like, some omnipotent being, but we have that high, I think we have a higher sense of overall consciousness, and especially when shit gets pushed hard, like in life, like when you start getting pushed with your back against the wall, men overall maintain a higher sense of consciousness. I do believe that. Because women did like when they get pushed against the wall, they just don't have it. They a part just disappears, and they turn into this like mindless animal that's just completely instinct and emotion driven kind of thing. There's no sense of planning or thinking anything out. None of that. It's like at the end of it's like okay, remember at the end of Life of Pi, where I think the movie was called Life of Pi, where the little Indian kid, he was on that boat with all those animals, and they was like talking to him and shit, and the lion, there was a lion on the boat with him, and him and the lion, I think, was the only ones who made it off the boat, and at the end when they finally made it back to land, the lion just walked off and didn't fucking care. Like he had no sense of the lion in that movie. It had no sense of camaraderie. It had no sense of companionship. When they got to land, the lion just walked off like nothing ever even happened. Right? That's how that feeling that I feel like how that boy looked at that lion just walk off like nothing happened. Like that's how I see women. How women just like they don't have a sense of thinking and planning. It's just emotion and instinct, right? And that in itself is annoying as fuck, right?
Emotional conversation, yes. I would like to see somebody who's I was in a relationship with, or getting to the point of a relationship with, us kind of like break down the walls a little bit, have a vulnerable conversation.
So in conversation, but not be like a wet napkin the entire time you're dating.
Me personally, no, I don't like a wet.
Okay.
But
So
one thing that Casey just said is really interesting, because Caroline said it's the first thing that she looks for, but Casey's talking about it where it's already down the road of being in a relationship. So there's something else that's getting a guy on the playing field, that's getting him noticed by Casey, and it's not emotional vulnerability. You can find homeless people that have vulnerabilities. I mean, you're going to date them.
I mean, obviously
genuine
not.
question,
Of
right?
course,
Yeah.
Why is it
I'm
obvious? If that's the first thing you notice, it's not obvious to me.
Well, as a human being, of course, the first thing I notice is what I see with my eyes. Am I physically attracted to this man? I'm not gonna sugarcoat that. Looks matter, attraction matters,
Good looking
chemistry,
and homeless.
chemistry matters. Of course, I want someone who has, if we're talking financials and success, and I know that this is also a huge stress for men because they're supposed to be meant to be the providers, and they want to offer women and their kids all these things. And again, those are very important things. But money, it does not buy happiness. Another cliche, but it just doesn't. And
have you ever seen a man crying in a Lamborghini?
Listen, it helps.
No,
It helps.
That's a serious
But
question. Have you ever seen a guy crying in a Lamborghini?
But
They usually have a smile on their face, right?
I'm sure.
So money does buy happiness if you know where to shop.
Money buys happiness.
Money can buy happy things and happy moments.
Yeah.
But maybe you don't see that man crying in his Lamborghini, but maybe he goes home later that night and cries.
Okay. The concept money doesn't buy happiness, it means two different things to men and women. And I'm going to try to explain this well, which I'm probably going to fuck up, but I'm going to try. Money doesn't mean, but money does not buy happiness to men and women mean two completely different things for many different reasons. Right. But I'm going to try to hone in on some of the core areas. Okay. Okay. First, you have to define what is happiness to a man and a woman, right? Right. What is especially after they've been experienced, they've been, through the ringer and all that shit like that in life, especially after that point. Like what is, and anywhere along the line, like what is happiness to a man and to a woman? Now, what's his name? Moth Unplugged. He brought up the fact that, somebody could be homeless and still have all the qualities that you look for up front, talking to Caroline, right? Now, happiness with a spouse, at least initially speaking, is in the whole scheme of things, it's two different things. But let's just say initially, like with Moth's example of a homeless guy, of a homeless guy, he can be, he can be very communicative and all this shit like that, but he can be homeless. So how come you don't date him, right? See, happiness to a man would happily hook up with a homeless woman as long as she was just nice, kind, loving. See, a man could happily go find a homeless woman as long as she's decent looking and she looks like she can figure out how to take a bath. She's not horribly obese and she just was just being just a generally decent human. A man could be happy with that and would happily build a family knowing that she probably don't even know how to work a job to contribute anything, right? A man would happily do that. That's what happiness is in context of a relationship. That's what happiness is for a man. He can get with a woman and he could build up a life. He could build up a life, a career, a house, a job, whatever the fuck. A man can get with a woman who has nothing outside of pussy and build a life with her. And a man would genuinely be happy doing that shit. Wouldn't have a problem with it. Now, do you think that goes the other way? Do you think a woman can go out there and go get a homeless man and be like, yeah, we can build a family up together and all that? And of course not. Of course not. Right? Of course not. If it happens, it's extremely rare that that's ever happened. And if it did happen, it's not going to happen for long because the woman was probably just going through something like Britney Spears with the Kevin Federline dude. Like, she was just going through a phase real quick and then got rid of him type of shit, right? So first you got to ask yourself, okay, what is happiness in the context of a relationship between defining the differences between men and women and what happiness is, right? Like I say all the time, if you were to sit me, Adolf Hitler, Malcolm X, Gandhi, fucking Alexander the Great, if you put us all in a fucking room and asked us what did we want out of a woman for a spouse, we could all agree on the same core topics, right? We can all agree. None of us really care how much money the woman makes. None of that. None of that shit. We just want a woman we can build shit and grow with, right? And grow in many ways with, right? That's what we want. Don't care what she's got coming in as long as we can make something work along the way, right? Now you go back and you look at see, the Queen of England couldn't go up any higher. She went as high as she can go. Oprah can't go any higher, so she's done. There's no room. Them Nicole Scherzingers, she gonna die alone. There's nowhere else for her to go. It's done. She's always going up, right? Now, with the phrase "money can't buy happiness," what Caroline really means to say, and she'll swear up and down this isn't what she means to say, but this is what she means to say: money can't fuck her right. Money by itself can't fuck her right. Right? Money by itself can't fuck her right. You can fuck her, but it can't fuck her right. Right. So this is where women like her kind of end up in this never-ending cycle of just bitterness and depression and just severe awkwardness, is because let's say let's use like a Melania Trump, for example, right? All right, no, like Donald Trump is not fucking her right at all. There's a great chance he's not, right? Because he's an older dude. He's tired, right? He's tired. He's TIDE. He's tired, right? He can't fuck her right, right? But Melania can't go anywhere, right? So she's stuck there with him, and she's probably sneaking off, paying some male dom to like fuck the shit out of her, you know, and keeping him secret and all that shit like that. You know, she's running off doing shit like that. So she's never really happy. So it's like, see, it's much harder for a woman to find, I would say, 3 out of 5 top quality traits in a man, in one man, right? It's much harder for a woman to do that than for because a man can finally just break down and be okay with 2 to 3 out of 5, right? A man can just be like, fuck it, I'm just gonna deal with this and work with this and try to build on it. Whereas see, women don't build anything, right? So see, there's no way. There's no way. Let's use Melania Trump as an example. Melania Trump cannot tell Donald Trump how to fuck her, right? Because if she tells him how to fuck her, it's the magic trick scenario. Like, she's not going to be impressed because she told him exactly how to fuck her, right? So she's not going to be. There's no sense of, oh, I didn't see that coming. Caroline cannot go tell, you know, Rodney down the street how to fuck her and all, because if she tells him, now she's going to know, and there's not going to be any excitement from it. Right. See that's another reason why women prefer to be led, because since they're being led, they're constantly in that state of I don't know. Like a magic guest. I don't know. Is he going to make the car disappear? How can he even do it? I don't know. See, women love to be stuck in that state of I don't know. Right? That's what generally seems to what always seems to get them I see it says an hour ago on my mini feed, an hour, but I don't know what this means. I don't know what that means. So somebody donated something, Streamlab is tripping. But yeah, hang on, let me see this. What's this? Some stupid shit.
Is in his kitchen eating a tub of peanut butter because he actually feels no sense of worth and he has no self-love, and he doesn't understand his purpose in love, and he doesn't know God, and he doesn't feel fulfilled in his life. And it's actually really not as exciting as it is driving 100 miles per hour down the freeway in his fucking Lamborghini. Excuse my French. Am I allowed to do that?
Sure.
Yeah, we're past
the first few minutes.
Okay.
Let it fly. We don't care.
So again, yes, money's great. We love a $200 sushi dinner out, but at the end of the day, we're humans having.
Yeah, she's dancing around. And see, yeah, most women don't have the courage to say it out loud. Okay, yeah. So I'm going to say what she really wants to say. Okay, yeah, $200 sushi is great. But if the man doesn't have the confidence to fuck her right, she's still gonna be sitting at home fucking bored and miserable after she shit all the sushi out. And she probably don't even like, most women I've never met never even like sushi anyway. But women like to use sushi. To women, sushi is like the wine glass in dating profiles. Like, they like to just say that to sound classy. Most women I've met have never liked sushi. I've met very few women who actually like sushi. And usually they were like not even to sound like fucking like what's the proper word? I can't think of the proper word, but they were usually Asian girls who actually liked sushi. But yeah, what she really wants to say is a $200 sushi dinner is a great ego boost. But if you don't have the confidence to fuck me right, I'm just gonna shit. I'm just gonna shit the sushi out and sit around bored and horny because I'm not getting fucked right later. That's what she means to say. Because see, Caroline can't go to AD and be like, I want you to be confident so you can fuck me right. She can't say that. See, when Caroline goes on Tinder or Bumble or whatever, and she meets some new man, she can't be like, hey, I like you if you be comfortable and you be confident enough to fuck me right and how you want to fuck me. She can't say that, right? She can't. Caroline can't go on a date and be like, and say, yeah, I want you to choke me and hold me over the kitchen sink and slap my ass and all. She can't tell a guy that usually, okay, and be genuinely happy, right? Right? Because it would be like you telling David Copperfield, like, hey, I want you to put an elephant right here and put it in front of me and make it disappear because I know how this magic trick works. It's not going to be a magic trick anymore. It's done. There is no more magic trick. You've already told him exactly what to do.
This like spiritual experience, and I don't think that. I think men are like really black and white, and they see things kind of just like in these boxes. And I think women see all the colors and everything on the outside. And yeah, having money is cool, but are you actually really deep down so content with yourself and like so in love with life? And yeah, I mean, that's a tough one. So yes,
none of that is inherent to the male experience. See, men and women are fundamentally inherently different. The things that rev your engine are not the same things that get guys up out of bed. You know, no one cares if a guy has this self-love or he thinks that he's this greatest thing ever.
But the women do. Yes, the women do.
No, they don't. What women care about for men is that they can provide something, is that he's going places and that he's able to gather resources. And that
Okay, yeah. Now, this is where I don't really agree with him. I agree with Caroline, but you got to use dumb bitch in these translations to know what Caroline's really saying. Now, I agree with Caroline on this. I don't agree with I agree. Okay, what Caroline literally just explained what I just said. And Moth did, right? Like, yeah, the $200 sushi is great. You know, buying me a house, buying me a car, amassing resources for the woman to make sure she's taken care of. Yeah, that's a great addition, right? But if you don't have, if that same man doesn't have the confidence to fuck the shit out of Caroline, right? Then it's like, I guess I can ask him for another car. I guess I can ask him for another house. I guess I can ask him for a new pair of shoes. That can make up for it. I guess I can ask for, a trip to Cancun out of him. She'll try to get her that missing high in another place. Now she'll never say she wants to get fucked right on camera. It's a very low chance. I don't think she has the courage to say that on camera. But that's what she's really that's where this is headed. Now, Moth is right to a point, but I think you would have to translate the dumb bitchinese to understand what she just said and why Moth is kind of like really just at this point. Moth is following Caroline, and this is when women like women in the West, they usually do this type of shit because like now she knows that she's ahead in the argument kind of thing, right? Because now all Moth essentially did was like follow right up behind Caroline and saying pretty much what Caroline just said, right? Caroline just said, yeah, $200 sushi is great. Yeah, which would translate into, yeah, having the extra resources is great. And yeah, you will have a harem of women at some point just because you have resources. That is a fact. Every rich neighborhood, there's always some cute girls trying to get in there. Any wherever you go on earth that has money in that area, you got young, beautiful women clawing to get in there. It's how it is in life. Right? It's how it is. Uh-oh. But did that just? Oh no, it went too big. Okay, I thought it went like just in that area, but it went through the whole thing.
protect, provide, and offer paternity, like they have since the dawn of time.
So is your fundamental belief that the only way men can get women is if they have an exorbitant amount of money?
No,
That's
not
what
at
he
all.
said.
100% and then not at all.
No, it's not. No,
That's not what he
it's
said.
not what I said.
So I'm trying, I guess I'm trying to understand.
There's lots of
what-
guys that get women that are fresh out of jail with face tattoos,
Women love criminals.
right? They got nothing to
So-
show for it.
Casey's laughing. She
They don't even have a place to stay at. Casey
We've got
knows.
women on
I
before
just,
that they've
I
dated
just thought
felons.
about like the guy that got like famous from his mugshot picture, and now he's
Yeah,
like,
he became a model after that.
Yeah, the guy with little tear tattoos, a handsome dude.
No,
black
I'm
dude with, like,
asking,
green eyes
so
or whatever he was. Women were throwing themselves at that guy. I really hope you guys enjoyed that clip. If
Yeah. Yeah. You know what? I think Caroline would be cool to hang out with. As long as she can handle my, I would love to have a talk with, like just to sit down and just chat with her about real dating shit, right? Probably be too brutal for her, but I like where she was going with that. I genuinely do. I like where she was. Like, she's not gonna say like the more blunt sides unless she felt comfortable around a man who could handle it. I think, and she probably wouldn't do it on YouTube, but I like where she was going with that, right? Yeah, when it's the money doesn't buy happiness shit. Yeah, what she really means is money by itself doesn't get me fucked right. And that's the fucked up thing, man. Like how they were just talking about the guy that came from jail, right? The guy that came from prison and he ended up becoming a mom. See, the women love guys who get face tattoos. And see, the reason why women like bad boys is because that bad boy act, or guys who ride motorcycles a lot, motorcycle racers, car racers, these guys who do these abnormal fields. See, it's not really necessarily the field and the money. It's more what that represents in their personality to be able to do what they want to do, right? So like, but at the end of the day, yeah, money by itself is enough to get Caroline's pussy. She probably not admit it, but money by itself will get Caroline's pussy. All right. Period. Let's not dodge that bullet, dodge that reality, right? But the thing is, okay, what really gets women excited again is to be stuck in that phase of I don't know. I think somebody said it somewhere. I think somebody might have wrote me or something like that. So like all women are all women are degenerate gamblers. That's what it was. All women are degenerate gamblers. Yeah. Like they love that high of like not knowing and getting a little payout here, a little payout there, but not knowing, right? And the fucked up part is like usually when guys work their ass off to get like really good paying jobs, well, those guys tend to lose that sense of do whatever they want in life because now they're always reporting to this job all the time, right? They're always saying yes sir, no sir at this job. So they've lost that whole bad boy sense of doing whatever they want to do, right? So that's what ultimately always keeps the door open for the bad boy to have a spot, because the bad boy is what's left to represent, to have that representation in men that goes, yeah, I do whatever I want. I don't have to answer anybody. So you don't know what I'm going to do next kind of thing, right? You really don't know what I can do, what I'm going to do next type of shit, right? So that's why guys who come out of prison, they always got bitches. Doesn't matter if they're sex offenders, they murdered their whole family, doesn't matter. Those guys always got bitches somewhere. You never hear of a sex offender who can't get pussy. right? Guys who openly fucking molested fucking 8-year-old girls have bitches. And the bitches know. Right? Why is that? Why is it historically it's always been the same group of men who complained about women? It's always the same. It's always the same group of men who always complain in love songs. I love her and I miss her. How come she can't see I'm the one? Look at history of fucking songwriting, dude. Look at literal history of songwriting. Who was always the motherfucker who's sitting over there sad and fucked up and frustrated. It's always the one who who's trying to be like the best man he can be, blah blah blah, and how come they can't see they can't see the light that I'm the one. It's always that shit, man. It's always that. Why is that? Right? Just like it's always that thing. It's always that. Right? And it's even sad, it's even more sad when like these rappers, when like these thug rappers, they fuck around and turn too soft for a woman. And then they fall into that shit, right? I remember when 50 Cent did that song, Bitch Get In My Car. He goes like, when I was with Vivica, I thought I was on to something. But then the next week, nah, man, it was nothing. Remember that line from the was it? I can't think of the one that had Disco Inferno on it. It was his second album, but he's like, when I was with Vivica, I thought I was on to something. But then the next week, nah, man, it was nothing. And 50's still 50, right? Right? Yeah. But these motherfuckers, all my life, I pray for someone like you, and I hope that you. See, motherfuckers who was singing along in the car with that shit, them motherfuckers to this day, they still complain. They still in the car singing that song. I would never sweeter than you. All that, yeah. See, them motherfuckers who sing along with that, they still in the car singing that song since the day it came out and shit. They got the same cassette tape still in the deck. You just hit play, right? Think about why is that? Why is that still a thing? Why is it going like that, right? Nothing's changing, but technology. But outside of that, nothing's changing. See them sex offenders, the motherfuckers who escaped from prison, all these motherfuckers who was doing this shit. How come they ain't sitting up, a whole lot of them ain't sitting up writing love songs like that. And if they are, they doing it just to cash out on it. Right? Because they got a bitch sitting in the crowd that came here to watch them. Right? Or that's how they get pussy. It's because they went on stage and sung it. And that was a form of like, I do whatever I want. And that's what got pussy to pay him attention. Like the motherfucker, what was the motherfucker? Antifa? What's that bitch name? Was it 30? What was it? Was it Antifa? This was it. This was her. Yeah, this bitch, right? What's his name? Jorge? What was the dude's name? This hussy, right? Treat him like shit. What was this motherfucker's name? Because after this show, he ended up going off and getting a good woman after that, right? But it was all because of this. What was this motherfucker's name? George. Let me look up. Because George ended up going off. Because George was a pussy with her. But see, it was the fact that he went on TV and was himself that signaled pussy from throughout the United States to be attracted to him after that. What's this show? 90 Day Fiance. I'd say new. I don't know if they still together. I don't know, but he ended up going off and getting married and finding him a good bitch after. Look.
Hey, yeah. What's up, guys?
He ended up going off and actually getting a woman who treated him like she had some sense, right? Now, ask yourself this: would that same woman had fucked with him if he had never gone on that show? If he was just like a regular old dude, you know what I mean, like in Hamilton County, just being a super duper simp and was never seen or heard of, would that same woman have still fucked with him? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. The reason why she fucked with George was essentially the bad boy for her. Right? George is essentially the bad boy for her. Relative to her, because she couldn't dream of getting on TV. So for her, George was like the shit. Even though he was like getting pimped out, he was just getting used, he was just getting treated like shit on camera. He went to prison over the bitch, you know, all that shit. Even though he was completely pathetic in his world, well, relative to whatever his wife's name, Rhoda, whatever her name is, he was the shit to her. Like I said, if George had been just that regular old dude, you know what I mean, in the city, just being a dumbass simp and never got on TV, very low chance a woman like her would have paid him any attention. I've seen you in Hammer Hand streams. I don't know what that means. And Terry Moody. I don't know what that means. It's these guys she used to mess with, even though he had different women in all different cities. The lyrics are written. The Massacre. Yeah. Get in my car. Yeah, Javi. Yeah. Hammer Hand gonna stream tonight. Oh, that's another streamer. Okay. Oh, I seen that in streams before. You've seen me in somebody else's streams. So that's cool. I think that's pretty cool. Somebody else put me, for better or worse, in their YouTube channel. Thanks, brother. I've been in the manosphere for a while. Sandman. Yo, I used to watch Sandman 2 years ago. Coach Greg Adams. I don't know what TFM is. Hammerhand. AMS. I don't know what AMS. I don't know what that is. Who they? I'm saying who they are, or AustriaDick, isn't it? Thanks a lot for OG as well. I can relate to you. I can relate to when you were saying your girl will never see how good the baby is when she's gone. What I did was I set up a ring cam to show my girl she was blew away at how good the baby was acting. Yeah. It's crazy. It really, like, here's the thing. It really kind of hurts. Like, you know, it hurts me because it's like, it's that thing, you know, it's like, because I'll see both of them in their best light, but they'll never see each other like how I see them, kind of thing. So like, I'm essentially just like, I'm the watcher of them, kind of thing. Like, I'm just like kind of like the watcher over them. Like, they'll never see each other, like, you know, in their best, you know, in their best light, kind of thing. The Mysterious People of the Czech Republic. What's that? I'm not watching anything else. I'm gonna get off here because I've been playing. I got a set of Corsa online up right here next to my. You guys can't see it, but it's right here. There's a race. The only thing that gets annoying about doing online racing is that they just like, especially in like a regular basis set of courses, like it's always just like the same tracks. And so all people do is just like tune the car up like crazy. And some of that tuning shit I just don't get into. But if anybody's interested in sim racing, I just got a set of Automobilista 2, which I think is a great game. It was a pain in the ass because Automobilista focuses on the tire. Like, their tire model is like just out of a set of courses league. There's no comparison. You just can't even compare it. What you got to pay attention to with the tire wear in that game is just completely. So like, I was fucked up for the longest, like just trying to make turn one in light rain. I just kept spinning out with traction control all the way up. Just couldn't do it. But yeah, Automobilista too. Like, I'm definitely a big fan of that shit. In my opinion, I think Automobilista is actually better than a set of Corsa or a set of Corsa Competizione. I think Automobilista is like the shit. And it took me until now to give it a chance, and I love it. I think it's like, it has so many different types of races you can do, and they're all, you know, good at minimum, kind of thing. Big fan of it. But the bad part about sim racing is it's like the FromSoft community, right? I think sim racing is far more difficult than the FromSoft community. Like with the Dark Souls and Bloodborne and Elden Ring, I think the sim racing is far harder but both of them have the same situation going on where the people who are like super duper into it, they're all like so deep into it that they just want, you know, more of a challenge. Whereas like anybody who's new is going to come into it, it's just so much of a gap to bridge that the new people just be like, fuck it, I'm not getting ready to do this. And the core fan base is going to stay relatively, small, right? And I think sim racing or even flight simulators have it worse because because typically if you want to do sims, you usually have to get like the equipment to do it. Kind of you need like a steering wheel and pedals or like some type of a HOTAS or like a yoke or whatever the fuck they call it to fly the plane. So first you got to get that. And with sim racing, you're going to spend at least $150 in addition to the game, right? And then on top of that, you got to have a gaming PC to do it, most of it. And then on top of that, you got to learn how to tune the car because if you don't tune the car in online racing, well, everybody's just going to kill you. So it's like you got to know what you're doing in that. So sim racing, it ends up in this shitty position where like the people who do it have been doing it for years, so they already know all these tracks frontwards and backwards. They know how to handle in the rain, whatever the fuck, right? And here you come as a new person, you don't know any of this shit, right? Even in the beginner mode, you're gonna have a hard time. So it's like there's no real like it's fucked up. Like it's just I think Sims have it worse than FromSoft does because of that difficulty. Because the difficulty in being able to approach it and make any type of success in it. And then on top of that, with racing, like you also have to just like cars on some level because like most of these sims don't even have like a campaign to do. It's just like they just kind of just say here's 200 cars and like 18 tracks, have fun kind of thing. So like you have to like driving, you have to like be into cars up front, right? So like I really enjoy sim race. I've been meaning to do a live stream, but I don't know how to set it up because I don't know how to set the camera up with me being able to like. I don't think I have the space to do it, so I just kind of keep putting it on because I've been wanting a live stream in the beginning of me playing. I got to set a course up right here, but I really enjoy sim racing. I really enjoy racing in general, but I don't know how I'm going to set it up for a live stream because I just don't even have the space here to do it anymore with the equipment I have. But because right now everybody, if you're playing a set of course of Competizione, everybody's on that Nürburgring. They uploaded they finally made the Nürburgring Nordschleife shit, like the green monster, that big the track that takes like 10 minutes to get to do one lap type of shit. They finally put that up and everybody's like sucking that track's cock right now. Everybody's doing that. I'm not doing it. I'm playing Automobilista 2 and a little bit of like a set of Corsa 1, but yeah. Ivy Bolt says 80. You can also watch a video from Better Bachelor in one of your next streams. It's called "We Were Past the Point of No Return. Dating can only end in a what's it say? In a thud." You would definitely like it. Alpha male strategies. Okay. Alpha male strategies. I don't want to watch many people on YouTube anymore. Unless it's like the only thing I watch anymore really is just like I say, because I do sim racing. So the only thing I really watch is like how to like tune a car to do something or something like that, or how to, because I was playing BeamNG too. BeamNG is really fun. That's a really great game. It's an amazing game on PC. If you like cars and like damage models, it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing what you can do with that. Austria, are you a Sigma that is winning? Appreciate you and glad you and woman and child are well. I don't know what I am. Let's Google what is a Sigma male, because I always hear that and I forgot what it is. Is a Sigma, because I read that whole like dictionary on it. Let's just read. I don't know if this is true, but let's just read it. So I have no idea if this is true or not. He likes to fly solo and is very independent. Yes. So, okay, if this is true. Oh, well, you can't see what I'm looking at. Hang on. If this is true, I'm going to answer as honestly as I can for this. Hang on. So it says 11 personality traits of a Sigma male. I don't know if this is true, but I'm just going to play along. So number one, he likes to fly solo and is very independent. Yes, definitely number one. Number two, he has a mysterious personality. I don't know, because I'm in my personality, so I don't think I have a mysterious personality, but who knows? Number three, he likes silence. Definitely three. So number one and three for sure. He lives life on the edge. No. Well, I don't think I do. Number five, he is extremely smart. I think I'm dumb as fuck, so I'll say no to number five. Number six, he has a rebellious spirit. I don't know. Number seven, he is never short of attention. I think that's hard to answer because you never, I mean, everybody falls short of attention at some point. So I don't really, I can't answer that. Number eight, he has an abstract way of thinking. I don't know. Again, I'm stuck in my own head, so I don't know if how I think is abstract or not. I don't know. To me, I'm just a regular old dude, so I can't answer that. Nine, he has his own distinctive style. I would say yeah. I would say yeah to number nine. 10, he's a deep thinker. Yeah, I would say 10. Yeah, 10 too. 11, he can adapt to anything. Yeah, I would say 11. So yeah, I would say about. I can answer confidently about five of these out of 11. I could confidently say yes. But let's see. Let's take another one just to see. What's this? Mom Junction. Well, let's not read that. What's this? 25 signs and characteristics of a Sigma male. Let's say lone wolf. Yes. Quiet. Yeah. In my real life, yeah. I'm a quiet dude. Like, yeah. So number 1, 2, yes. 3, I don't know if I'm rebellious or not. 4, again, mysterious. I don't know. Independent, yes. Self-sufficient, yes. Confident, I would say yes. Self-validates, yes. Freedom lover, yes. Trendsetter, I don't know. I don't really care. Flexible, yes. Genuine, yes. Emotionally intelligent. I don't. Again, I'm stuck in my head, so I don't know. I can't answer that. Secure, yes. Attentive listener. Yeah, but I can be overpowering. I'll admit that sometimes. But yeah, attentive listener. But I can definitely be overpowering. And the reason, okay, so for number 15, it says attentive listener. I'll say this, the reason why I can be overpowering is because when I was a kid, I was always very shy and I always just kind of waited for other people to like start something or do something. So when I got older, I finally realized that I can be the initiator. And I remember like the times when I used to be like kind of shy and reserved. And I remember like how I used to be and what I used to look for. So like I turned into everything that like I would look up to, kind of thing, right? Right. I turned into that person. So like I can be overpowering mostly because I'm making up for when I was really shy and really quiet as a short little kid, you know, when I was smaller. Free thinker, yeah. True leader, I don't know. Ignores the social hierarchy, yes, definitely, yeah. Number 18, the social hierarchy, yeah, I would definitely do that. Adaptable, yes. Strategizes, yes. Self-care, for the most part, yeah. Not interested in relationships. As I've grown, yes, for sure. Invisibility is key. Yeah, yeah. Naturally attractive, I don't know and don't really care. Knowledgeable, I would say yeah. So I would say, based off these two, if these are, you know, reliable forms of information, I would say yeah. In general, Sigmas can see the fuckery and walk away. Everyone is a combo of all traits. Yeah. Everybody, I agree with that, Triggerverse, yeah. Everybody is like everybody has times of being sad and depressed or being a leader, being extrovert, or everybody has times for sure. So yeah, I agree. What's this? I never seen this. Oh wow, okay. I just seen an option in a set of courses I never even looked at before. Like, okay, I'm gonna get off here because I want to do at least one match on a set of courses. So I'm gonna get out here before it gets too late. Y'all have a good day, evening, night, wherever you are. And I catch you on the Flippy Flip, man. Thanks for tuning in, like, subscribing. If somebody donated, I missed it because it just says 2 hours in mini feed and doesn't say anything else. So I can't tell if somebody donated or not. But if somebody donated, thank you so much. I appreciate it. And I catch y'all later, man. Have a good day, night, evening, wherever you are. Peace out. Uh-oh.